YouTube, how's it going? And welcome back to AJ's Garage. Thank you guys for tuning in. Today's video, we are actually out at the junkyard. It's been quite some time since I've been here. California Central Valley is where I'm at, and it is extremely hot during the summer. Even very early mornings, it is extremely hot. So it's starting to cool down finally. So this morning it's really nice weather, about high 60s. Of course, it'll still get kind of warm, but not quite sure what I'm looking for today. Let's see what's changed. We'll bring you guys along, see if we find anything cool, anything different, and maybe we'll bring some parts home. So I'm starting off this morning just by walking down kind of the main runway, I guess you could call it. That's usually where they'll bring in new trucks or cars, whatever may be here, and then we'll just branch off from there. This little pile here is where I found the steel 67 grill, and there was quite a few others. Looks like there's some tailgates, an old International tailgate and a bump side lunar green tailgate, some grills, one of the things I noticed last time I was here is they're starting to move a lot of things around. Trucks that I've seen out before, I'm assuming are gone or crushed. This pile of doors wasn't here before, and this is actually where there was a white highboy that had the roof cut off. It was missing all the axles and stuff. There was a blue truck here that I pulled some trim off of. The green truck that used to be here is the one I got the shifter linkage off of and one of the fuel lines I needed. So they are kind of getting rid of some things. One of the things I've been considering for the dually is mirrors. Both of the mirrors that were on there were pretty bad. This one actually looks really nice. And I recognize this door, so Turner's Auto Wrecking, because this door used to be way out there. So the only bad thing is would be finding the pair to this, and I didn't see it when I found this one way back. So we're gonna keep looking and keep going up the runway here, so give you guys a view of what that looks like. Those are new, if anyone needs those. So this truck is new, haven't seen this before. Looks like the grill is sitting right there, but disc brake truck, if anyone needs disc brakes. Auxiliary tank. The door tag is gone, but it looks like originally it was this nice baby blue color. Can't remember what that color is exactly, but might have been repainted or someone just swapped the door. It's actually a 72. Tank selector here, Imperial. Little different than what I've seen before. I'm not sure if that would have been like a replacement. Those are actually in really nice shape. So my 70 has these, of course, but they're not painted black. So I've kind of been wanting to do that, or I could just find some nice original ones like those. Part of the grill. Just a bunch of junk. There's two other trucks that I think I've shown you guys before over here, but I do see some others that I can't remember if were there previously, or if they were, I just didn't pay much attention to them. So I've pulled some parts off of this truck, I believe the back half or the rear wiring harness for the taillights. I believe it was this truck. Dentside here. And this one's actually a super camper special, and that's because the spare is on that side of the bed. You can actually see the door that covers it right there. Looks like the transmission is out of it too. The cab looks like it's in really good shape besides being completely empty. But you can see that here's where the spare would be. That door would just cover it. Another thing about these trucks is they actually had a longer wheelbase, so should be a little better for towing, and it seems like this might have been the rear end that was in it. And they also had the 2 tanks. Now I wanted to put a tank in the back of the dually, and this looks like it's something that I might be able to make fit. So we got protective shield, the top straps, and just missing the tank, and then I'm actually missing that back cross member right there. So I'm sure we could make something and have it look like that or work in that same way. On LMC, you don't really see anything as far as a rear tank like this. The ones you do find are the ones that are in between the frame rails. And I believe this one also would have a 34-inch width from front to back, whereas a lot of the Dentsides in the back half changed and was a little bit wider. But let's see what else we find. So that Luna green truck I've seen before. This one I've seen before as well. A pretty cool step side bed that's in pretty good shape. But this one here I don't really recall. And it looks like they've cut the frame and cross member for some reason. And this looks like it's a factory sway bar truck. Now I've been back and forth between putting a sway bar in the dually. I've seen how you can do it on the front end. These later Dentside models had special, I wouldn't say special, but they had little notches in the radius arms which would allow a little bracket to kind of sit in place, and then that bracket would hold the sway bar, versus like the LMC replacement or the LMC sway bar, you have to drill into your I-beams. And this one actually seems like it would be pretty easy to put in. Only bad thing is I'm not sure if this would work on the Dana 70. The axle tubes are a lot thicker, but this is actually a pretty cool setup here, where it bolts in here and then the bracket on the back. You can kind of see it. And a rear gas tank, like I mentioned, you can kind of see the frame. Might be kind of hard to see, but this looks pretty narrow, and as you go back, it widens out. Now those might work on the dually. Except for that one's a little bit bent in the front, unless it's supposed to be like that. Looks like we got the auxiliary tank for this truck just sitting on the ground. And I can actually see it a lot clearer on here. These are original Ford mirrors. So these would be kind of cool to have. Besides that other one being a little banged up, but maybe we can straighten that out. And I have no idea what this is, because it wasn't here before. But it looks like it's going to be an F600 and some sort of gas truck. Oil company, Clovis, California. So this definitely wasn't here before. Pretty cool to see. Sitting in that engine bay, that engine looks tiny. And it looks like we've got another Holley carburetor. And it is definitely a 2-barrel. Pretty cool. Let's take a look at the inside. Well, I was just about to say maybe these mirrors will work, but we're missing the glass. Looks like we're missing it on that side as well. And I know these are a little hard to find, but I didn't realize that this bump side style bezel transferred over to the Dentside, so I'm assuming that's only in these bigger trucks. This one has the locking seat. So I couldn't get the seat to come forward. Usually there's a little latch here that you can adjust and it'll come forward, but this one seems to be kind of locked in place, but there's nothing behind there anyway. But getting a closer look at this, it looks a little rusty, but I'm curious to see how much they would want for it. But pretty cool truck. Like I said, definitely hasn't been here before. And the mirrors, I'm almost wondering if I can just get some glass cut for them. They're in pretty good shape as well. Just might be kind of hard to get to them. Not up there, but to get to the other side, we gotta get the door cards off to access these. So not too far away from the F600, I did notice that truck right there is actually the 4-wheel drive highboy that was back at the beginning of the runway. So it's not gone. And then this is actually the blue truck that I pulled some of the trim off of. So they're not gone. Looks like they just moved them around. And then we've got another type of gas truck. And I can tell it's a Ford from the front end, the hood especially. Clovis. Kind of cool. It's got these marker lights in the grill here. It's got a flathead in it. That's pretty cool. Definitely an old truck. These cabs to me always seem super small. Probably doesn't help that I'm 6'5", but now on this I'm not sure where there would be a VIN number or a year we could find. Gas tank. Not sure if that's the filler for it. Some sort of breather. Actually, filler's over there. This is kind of a cool little storage shelf. Let's get around on the other side there and see what those cans are and see if we can find something in the glove box. Unless I'm just not looking at it right. I don't see a year. And I don't see anything on this store. Some brake fluid. Leak preventer. Really like that color though. If you guys saw it on the inside of the glove box. Very cool truck. I'm assuming they probably got this one and the F600 from the same area. So it looks like this one, which I actually got some door cranks off of for the 70 F250. They were in really nice shape. Had no pitting or anything on them. Has that same style mirror that we were looking at on the other truck. So it would seem like these are interchangeable, but these look kind of bent down here as well. And that one actually looks in better shape. So definitely a lot straighter. It's got the dual tanks. Wonder if maybe we can take this off of this one and grab that other mirror. So this is obviously a way newer truck, 87, if that's even right. And we got the same style mirror. The only thing is I think these come out a little farther. But I'm thinking they'll bolt up just the same. except for that one being a little bit bent, but it looks like we can just bring it back down. That door card doesn't look like it'd be too fun to get off. If you guys have been following along on the channel and been watching some of the progress on the dually, I was really thinking about fabricating a flatbed. Just think it'd be something cool to do. But as I've been walking out here, I've been looking at flatbeds. And I did remember this truck and this flatbed actually looks like it would be a good candidate. Not to mention that it's also on a Dentside. I believe this is a 78 though. But looks like it's a dual tank truck. Got the auxiliary tank there. And then that secondary tank back there. And actually everything looks intact on that tank. So I'm curious as to if I'd be able to make that fit. This one was a air conditioning 460 truck. John's custom radiator, repair and service. $79, actually. I wonder how much they would want for a flatbed that's just sitting out here. Can't really get a good view of the tank there. Well guys, I think I'm gonna head back up front. Ask them about the mirrors. See how much they'd want for them. I kind of like the fact that this has a little gasket for it, but of course I can always make something like that for the others. Now that I'm looking at these 80s Ford trucks, a lot of them have that style mirror on it. If I see anything else on the way up, of course you guys will get to see it. If you're new to the channel, I hope you please consider subscribing. Greatly appreciate it. We're getting close to 1,000 subscribers. We're almost at the 900 mark. Once we start getting there, hopefully we can start doing a lot more stuff, picking up more trucks, more repairs, rescuing them, I guess you could say, and moving them on to new owners. All right guys, so I'm back home from the junkyard. I did pick up this hubcap on the way out. Just thought it was pretty cool. Different than the ones I normally see, but I already cleaned it up. Ford Motor Company, so I'm not quite sure what this would have gone on, but we'll just put it up in the garage. Now, a slight issue with the mirrors that I didn't pay attention to until I got home is this one, or at least this top part, is not a Ford mirror. You can tell the back housing is different than this one, and there's no logo. This is the passenger side. I should be able just to go out there. I wonder if he'll let me exchange it, but there was quite a few sets of these out there on newer trucks, so we'll probably just get that swapped out. Another thing, this mounting point was bent on the truck we got the mirrors off of, so I was able to get this one off of the truck that was a little bit farther up the runway. So it's nice and straight. We'll just need to replace that top section there. But if I can give you guys a view, it's going to be kind of hard to hold the mirror up to the door and step back, but just from my vantage point, I'm definitely happy with how these are going to look on the truck. So once we get that other mirror swapped out and corrected, we will put these on the truck.